lot of Afro-Americans are seemingly disappointed with me over my take of the modern savagery of the American Negro. Some of them have become inflamed, enraged. Some of them have even questioned my ethnicity, my loyalty, intelligence, all of which I find to be extremely comical. Because there is nowhere in the annals of American history where you will find a group of people who have taken so much pride in being a social misfit and a buffoon, save it be the modern day Afro-American Negro. He has allowed himself to be pushed to the margins of American culture, not only by his social acts, the types of music he produces and listens to, but most certainly the types of clothes that he wears. A far cry from the young men and women of the 50s and the 60s, where they would dress in shirts and ties, and the women would wear nice dresses with their hair done, presenting themselves as respectable young black men and women. Somewhere along the path, you Negroes took a wrong turn. Somewhere along the journey, you Negroes have opted to veer off the worn path and wind up into a cultural, intellectual, spiritual ditch, where today in 2012, you Negroes wallow in your own muck and mire. It's truly a shame. How else can you explain a group of people How else can you explain a group of people who would glory in walking around looking like felons, criminals? The Negro men walk around with hoodies, concealing their identity, standing out for any law enforcement officer to take a double take at these savages, because at any moment you look like you're about to commit armed robbery. You run around with pants hanging off your ass, showing your dirty underwear. I mean, this is most dysfunctional. And never do you find the Negro leadership condemning this type of savagery. As a matter of fact, the Negro leadership condones it. They call it self-expression. They call it being yourself, and there's nothing wrong with it. But what these savages don't understand is that that type of behavior not only sets the race back, but it marginalizes the Negroes. Who in their right mind is going to hire an ape when he walks in to fill out a job application and half of his hair is combed? Who's going to take this Negro seriously when he walks in and his pants is hanging off his ass and the employer can see his underwear or his thong, in the case of most black men today? But that's another video. I mean, who in their right mind is going to take this guy serious when he's walking around with tattoos all over his cowhide skin, looking like a complete and utter buffoon? You Negroes brought this on yourselves. You have no one to blame but yourselves. As again I say, look in the mirror, black people. Because when you look in the mirror, what you're going to find is that the number one enemy of black people in 2012 is black people. You Negroes are reaping the harvest, the bitter harvest of years of intellectual neglect, spiritual barrenness, social buffoonery. And now today, those chickens have come home to roost, and you savages find yourselves in a cultural ditch with no way out. Your Messy Jacksons and your Al Charlatans and your irrelevant NAACPs and the rest of these dead civil rights organizations have no solution. why even your first Negro president has no solution for you. Because your problem is one of DNA, not of social reconstruction or social engineering. No, there is a flaw within you people. And I've been saying this for years. There is no other way that you can rationalize the behavior of American Negroes in 2012, lest you start from the premise that there is something biologically wrong with this race of people. That's harsh, but it's true. Consider this. If you were living in a housing development and there were a rash of break-ins in this said development, and the culprits who were doing these break-ins were hoodies, you as a black male who's intelligent, and you're going out to the store to get you some Skittles and a tea, and you have intelligence now, knowing that the rash of break-ins were being done by guys wearing hoodies, what rational, intelligent, law-abiding black man would don a hoodie and walk down that same development? Only the Afro-American Negro in 2012. Why? He is completely and utterly dysfunctional and anti-intellectual. I know y'all don't like it, but I got to tell you the truth.